Hiedi Scott with DIY and on this video tutorial I'm planning to ramble and tell you everything about this adorable craft that we're going to make today using this. This is Scotch brand postal wrapping paper. It's also known as brown craft paper. To have your product turn out good, you really need some good, heavy, thick brown paper, not the real thin and crumbly stuff that you could get like at Dollar Tree. So this is the main ingredient, and we are going to be making a little hanging that will have some candy corn pieces all hooked together and a few little wood tags, and it's going to be super cute. Anyways, as you're hopping on, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, feel free to sprinkle all that good stuff. So I gave you a little sneak peek, and I told you what the main ingredient is. And next, I'm about to do something that people think is really, really weird. I'm going to iron my brown paper, because if you don't, it will roll and roll and roll and roll. And it's like wrestling a snake. It's hard to work with. So I just have my little craft iron here set on cotton. I'm not going to use very much of this paper, so I'm just going to do just a little bit. This project reminds me a lot of the stuffies that I love to make using canvas drop cloth and using painter's drop cloth. But instead we're using brown craft paper. And we're going to paint it, we're going to decorate it, we're going to stuff it. It's going to be adorable. Okay, let me throw this off my table so I have a little bit of room. Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create your candy corns. They can be whatever size you want. There's no, I mean, they could be gigantic too if you want. So I'm going to do that. To me, a candy corn shape, just fold this, looks like a piece of pizza with rounded corners. So I'm just going to randomly cut out a pizza shape. Rounded corners and a rounded bottom. And there, I mean, there you go. That's a little, that kind of goes down a little bit in the center and looks weird, so there we go. The perfect piece of candy corn. Okay, and then next thing I did was I was experimenting, and I drew, pen or pencil around here somewhere, kind of how I wanted the shape of my candy corn to be. So on the top is yellow, in the middle is orange, on the bottom is white. And I do realize that some people have had or found candy corn that's in a different order, but generally where I live, in Georgia anyways, most candy corn is yellow at the very top, orange in the center, and white at the bottom. And I used these colors and 2 coats of paint. For the center part I used Waverly Pumpkin from Walmart. For the yellow part, I used Waverly Maize, M-A-I-Z-E, which is the Spanish word for corn. And then I used Waverly Snow White for the little bottom. And I just painted on 2 coats and made a big mess. This is what's left over from the last bit that I did here. Okay, so we're not going to do that because I don't want to make any more mess than what I already have. I have some ready to go. Then the next fun part is the embellishment part. And I'm going to show you a couple of things. We'll use this as a little painter's. I made this one when it was fully dry. I put polka dots on it. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with those to make them super, super, super cute. So I just took a little bit of paint. I'm just going to operate out of the lid. And a pouncer, which at Walmart you can get this package of little pouncer brushes that look like this. There's also there's also a yellow that is even smaller. And I'm going to just use this smallest one that I have, dip it in my Waverly paint, and I'll show you on this. I'm just going to randomly lay it down and twist it. And that is all there is to making, let's see. This is one of these craft projects that is super, super messy, but it's going to be really fun. And the cost to do this is like almost nothing, seriously. Okay, so let's crank out a few more of these polka dots in random spots. Sometimes I like to have them go sort of off the edge. And there are a ton other little fun designs and stuff that you could do. This is just what I have going on. Oops. Okay. Close this up. Wipe off my finger and I'll show you what I've got. Those little pouncers make great little polka dots. All right. So I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. Oh, but you know what? Before I move too much further along, I want to show you what I didn't like. Because I've been working on this project for a couple of days. This is the same idea that I cut a bigger piece of candy corn out. And then I used these paints from Target. This one is called Curious Goldfinch. This is Mondo Llama. This one is called Zesty Orange, and this one is called Snow Flurry. They're satin finishes, and this is how they kind of turned out. I don't know, it's very shiny. There's something about it. So I went back to my good old standbys, the Waverly paint from Walmart. So I just wanted to mention that depending on what paint you use, it may not look exactly the same, and that's fine. Okay, so here's one that I have all ready to go, and we're gonna doll this up like this one. I'm gonna do that with my favorite. Magnolia has, I don't know, 4 or 5 or maybe 6 different sets of pins. Some are a mix of ink and chalk paste, that's what this is. Some are just chalk paste. These I find to be the most versatile, and they're like under $15. You get 4 ink. The ink in the pins have the black body. The chalk paste have the white body. There's gold, silver, black, and white in each one. And I forgot my little paper plate, so maybe I'll just operate off of a piece of this. Okay, so I'm using this one, and I'm just going to prime my pen a little bit. This set comes with a tip that is a chisel and a rounded tip. I generally use the rounded tip almost all the time. You just pull it out and stick it back in the other direction if you want to switch. Okay, so I like to do dot, 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 line, dot, 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 line. And I like to vary how long the lines are also. So here's the start. I also like to do squiggly line and then a dot, 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 squiggly line, dot, 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 zigzags, just a line and one dot, or a whole border of dots. There's a ton of different things that you can do. So I will finish that, but the other thing I wanted to show you is with the little polka dots. I kind of like to put this little, it looks like a comma on its side, sort of. On them, you just need to choose which direction do you want it to be going, so it's going, in my opinion, the same way on each one. So on this one, I put it to the, as you're looking at it, to the right. On this one, I'm going to put it to the left. And I'm not going to do all of this because I don't want to put my fingers in what is wet right now, but that's it. Then you can put miscellaneous little dots. This reminds me of my scrapbooking days when I put dot, dot, dots on just about everything. Anyways, those are the steps for that so far. Okay, so next up, I want to show you, once you have it where you want it to go, I want to show you how to close it down. And I'm just thinking, I might need to dry this a little bit. Or you know what, I'm going to finish this one real quick and dry it, and then I'll show you how to assemble it. And then we'll move on to these cute little tags, and then I'll show you how I'm going to put everything together. Okay, so let me finish my dot, 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 line. Oops. And that's it. It is so simple. And it just adds a ton. I use these, this set of markers all the time. And the other color sets are nice too. I just like to use very often the black, white, silver, and gold in the ink pens or in the chalk pens. Okay, so let me dry this real quick so that we can move on to the next step. While I'm getting this dried, do this or this. If you like this project so far, feel free to ask questions. Let me know at the end if you want my supply list with the names of the paint colors and all that. And I'll even include what the details are on this particular brown postal wrap. Okay, let's say that's good. If you were going to hang this outside, before you stuff it, I recommend that you spray it with a clear matte sealer spray. This is the brand I have in my cabinet right now. It's from Walmart. It's just basic Rust-Oleum 2x ultra clear matte. You can also get gloss spray sealer, and it's just a couple of, I mean, it's not expensive at all. Okay, so not big enough now. All right, and this one is wet. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to start gluing it onto a piece of brown paper to get the backing. And I'm using my low temperature hot gluing thing because I don't want to get burned. That is no fun. So, I'm just going to start at the tip. Oops, I made it too short. Let's see. I can squinch it down a little bit further. That is not going to work. Okay, let's start with the new piece of paper. And I'll just do it from this bigger one. So I'm going to glue the sides all the way up to the top. I'll leave that open. Let me just cut it out. Come back after I'm done with this video and clean all this up so it's super neat and crisp. Tell me in the comments if you knew that you could make a kind of a stuffy using brown craft paper. I've done it here a few times. So see, it's not glued in here. And then I'm just going to use some of my favorite polyfill from Walmart. It's Crafter's brand. I like this stuff the best. It's stiff, and it says it's ideal for doll making. So I'm not going to fill this super full. And I'll use my scissors too. All right, and then I need to decide how do I want to hang it, because when possible, you want to glue your little hanger inside and not on the back, but I forgot when I was doing this one, so it all wasn't lost, but it is easier if you just do it when it's open. Just glue it to the back. So I'm just going to form one of those loops. Can be however big or not you want it to be. Let's see. Okay. This is where you want to be really careful that you don't burn yourself by squeezing the hot glue, even if it's low temperature, out of the edges, especially if it mixes with polyfill. It gets very hot. And that's basically it to create the first piece. Of course, you can do whatever kind of little embellishments you want. On this one, I just did a little crisscross bow with a little bit of this. It looks very much like raffia, and it's super inexpensive if you can get it. They sell it at Dollar Tree, mostly during the summer months. But it's a Hawaiian luau skirt, and it's great to substitute for raffia. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is, this is one that is finished, and I'm just going to be connecting these onto the bottom, and I'm going to do this one also, but it's not fully dry or decorated or stuffed yet, so it'll be down here too. And then I'm going to do 2 little tags also. So I want to tell you about these. On this one. Okay, these are these little wood tags that come from Magnolia, DIY.com. They're just black. I'm going to do 2 of them, and I'm going to do them with sort of a fun trick-or-treating, because this is candy, Halloween type theme. I don't tend to do a lot of Halloween here. My kids are grown, and we're over that sort of for the time being, but I never do all the scary stuff. So anyways, this is just pretty fun and pretty low level in case you're a person who doesn't like Halloween crafting. I like it when it's silly and fun sometimes. So I'm going to be using this one, and before I started here, I made one already, and this is this cute little stencil that is called Fall Minis 2022, because that's the year it came out. So here's the trick-or-treat one that I took off of this. We're not going to use that little hat. We're going to use this piece right here. Smell my feet. My dad used to always say that when he would take us trick-or-treating. My sister and I would go with him to the door, and we'd say trick-or-treat, and he'd say, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. And we always thought that was so hilarious. So anyway, so I'm doing trick or treat, smell my feet. And this is white chalk paste. I'm just going to use a little squeegee to apply it onto my little tag. When it's fully dry, I'll attach it to our little, what do I even want to call this? It's like a little baby's mobile, sort of. I'm going to fuzz it on my shirt, because I haven't used it yet. It could be fuzzed on a tacky towel, on a pair of jeans or khakis, or another kind of low lint type of fabric. That just makes them so they're not super sticky and difficult to get off, and so you don't stretch your stencils when you're removing them. Okay. And this is chalk paste, so I could theoretically change this out if I wanted to do something different with it. It will wash off with just some water. Get the big blobs off. And I'll put a picture in the comments of what comes on that sheet of little fall minis from 2022. Look how cute that is. So I'm going to have trick or treat, smell my feet. Okay, I'm throwing this over here in my tub of water until I can get out to the kitchen to clean it up. Oh my gosh, my craft room is it's kind of a disaster. Okay, so then I will either hang these with some of this faux raffia from Dollar Tree, or with some little bits of this black and white ribbon, like I'm doing this one. We'll glue them on the back. Whoops. I'll glue the different pieces on the back. And that will be pretty much it. So Let me know what you think, if you liked this, if you have questions, feel free to sprinkle all that good stuff. Do it this or this. If you make this project, I definitely, or your version of it, I want to see. I'd especially love to see if you do something like this that's bigger. I did do a giant candy corn with some fun words on it that I stenciled from Magnolia Stencils a few years ago, but I used canvas duck. So these ones are different in that they're made out of good old brown postal wrapping paper. But anyways, I would love to see what you do. I hope that you have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Come back later to look at pictures of the completed project. I'll put them here in these comments. I'll also put a complete supply list here in these comments, but if you want one, just let me know and I'm glad to send it over to you as a message or put it in a comment or both, whatever's easier for you. Alrighty, have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day.